Hello, I'm Brenda Sanders Passmore, and welcome to Health Bites. Today I'm visiting with Pat MacKinnon. She's the owner of Forever Healthy, the Allergy Elimination Center. Today I'm here to visit and learn how to treat and eliminate allergies naturally. Welcome to the show, Pat. Thank you for joining me.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Brenda. As Brenda said, I'm Pat MacKinnon. I'm the owner-operator of Forever Healthy, and allergies is our primary focus. Anybody that has allergies know how bothersome they can be to the body.
Absolutely.
And we typically think of allergies as an immunoglobulin E response, where you have hives and rashes and maybe swelling.
Right.
But allergies or sensitivities can be so much more bothersome than that. A lot of our physical ailments like abdominal pain, headaches, migraines, chronic fatigue, any of the symptoms that you may be suffering from can be very strongly related to an allergy component in your body. So when people reach out to us, we start everybody over the age of 2 with a computerized allergy screening. And that tests for approximately 200 food and environmental items that could be bothersome to your body.
And how exactly does that work?
It's done through a computer program, and you hold a testing rod, which is typically a grounding rod, and then a little probe touches on certain allergy points on your fingertips. And with the energy of an allergen brought up on the computer, it registers whether that allergen is okay for you or whether it's not okay.
I found it interesting. I had my allergies tested here, and the results were actually very, very similar to the ones that I received from the traditional Western medicine scratch test allergies. So I found that quite interesting. I didn't quite understand how the machine worked, but it came up with the same results. So I found that kind of interesting to point out.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to see a whole lot of discrepancies in different testings that you've had done. And then once the testing was done, you would have received a printout of how the different allergens are in your body.
And it was quite a list, and in previous times I was just told to avoid all those things, but that when a list gets so large, it's pretty hard to avoid. And some things are just unavoidable, like outdoor exposures to molds and things like that. It's pretty much unavoidable if you go outside.
That's very true. That's very true. What we usually do is tell people not to be discouraged, first off, when they see the number of allergens or sensitivities that they could have in their body. A lot of them are categories and can be treated similarly or at the same time. So once we start you for the treatments, excuse me, you can look at that paper and choose to maybe avoid some of the bigger items that you might be exposed to. For example, if you're allergic to blueberries and yogurt and grains, well, maybe not have yogurt first thing in the morning with granola and berries in it.
Have it all together.
Have it all together. That really puts your load out for sure. You know, so you can kind of watch that a little bit. We don't do injections. We don't offer medication or anything along that lines.
What do you offer?
What we do is we treat the allergies naturally. We expose you to the vibration of what a particular object, for example, egg, which is the first thing that we treat people for if you're sensitive to it. And then through muscle testing, we determine that your body either likes it or doesn't like it. And if it doesn't like it, we treat it through acupressure on your spinal column. So all of the nerve endings start and end in your spinal column, and that's what sends the messages to your body, to your brain, and then the brain sends the message out to your body. It's kind of like rebooting your computer. You reboot your brain to no longer perceive these substances as harmful, to use them for the best potential.
Sure.
And we have a specific pattern that we follow. And if your body is sensitive to any of the 10 basics, we treat them one at a time. And then after that, we sit down and do a reevaluation. What's changed? What hasn't changed? And what would you like to work on now? And a lot of that time is when we start looking at the odor pollens, maybe some of the food items that weren't covered on the basics, or perhaps hormones or neurotransmitters or things in your body that just aren't working
That
right.
was one thing that I was really appreciative, and especially with my first treatment and the assessment process, is that you really truly look at the entire body. It's a global thing. It's not just treating the symptoms. You're looking at the whole body and what's working and what's not, and assessing everything globally. And it just makes it, I think that's really, it's getting to the root cause of the problem. It's not just putting a Band-Aid on there.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's looking at, in a cause and effect cycle, it's looking at the cause. Why do you have that symptom in the first place? And you could very typically have a sore throat and a sore knee. And, you know, even though it's a distance away in the body,
And you wouldn't think it would be related.
it could very well be related to something very similar.
Interesting.
Yeah. The other thing that we look at too, Brenda, once we've gotten partway through the basics, is we start looking at the emotional components, because we could very possibly pick up allergies on an emotional level. And different things in the body can be caused by an emotion. So when we get to that, we look at the different organs, glands, and systems in your body and say, well, this is the conflict that can be associated with that. Does it resonate with you? And we look at different traumas maybe that have happened in your life, and you know, perhaps having a trauma when you're having a cup of coffee. The body can't register that as an emotional in the future. It registers it as coffee equals danger.
Right.
And that now you've created an allergy to coffee on the emotional level. So we look at all those as well.
Right. Wow, that's really interesting. I know I must have had 20 clients, and I'm not exaggerating. 20 clients in my business tell me that Forever Healthy has radically improved their quality of life, that has radically changed their allergy responses, and just made such a huge improvement in their quality of life. So I was just really excited to share about this hidden gem in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and thank you so much for joining me, Pat. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you very much, Brenda. It was fun.
Okay, thank you.